Hey guys, Joe here, and check it out. Dual water-cooled graphics cards and a big-ass motherboard. Yes, that's right. I took the parts from the previous video for PC parts pickups, and you can see that by clicking on the information tab, and I turned them into June's PC of the month. As you can see, it very classily fits in with my Project Red Devil Black and Red theme. By the way, people that say black and red is dead, no. I think if it's done tastefully and done correctly, it can look pretty damn bitching. Which, if I do say myself, looks bitching. So let's dive into it, shall we? At the heart of it is a i7-930, which is, quite frankly, a little weak suck, but that's going to be corrected soon. And it is sitting on an Asus ROG Rampage 3 Extreme motherboard. That's a mouthful, but that's what she is. Very capable motherboard. As you can see by its size, it's an eATX, very large. That's what she said. And it is currently housing two EVGA GTX GeForce 770 Hydrocopper classifieds. And that is pretty damn awesome. If you also recall from the video for PC parts pickups, I got these both for less than I got for a slightly damaged GTX 970 and a fully functioning 4690K. I got $210 for those two pieces because the 970 had a bad HDMI port, and I bought these two graphics cards, that motherboard, that Dominator DDR3 RAM, I do my own sound effects, and what else did I say? Oh yeah, the CPU for $170. So I got paid $40 to take all this equipment, and quite frankly, it works good. I don't think the guy beat on it too much. However, he had lapped the surface of the processor, leaving it bare, so I think he was doing some overclocking, but it still overclocks really well even now. As you can see, the Rampage motherboard does have dual 8-pin EPS connections. Wow, my brain is not working all of a sudden. But I can't find my second 8-pin connector that was in the box, so I'm going to have to go digging for that. I know it's in this apartment because I opened the box in this apartment. That box has never left this apartment, so it's got to be here. Oh yeah, it's got a Bluetooth connector, which is pretty cool. It doesn't have USB 3, but it does have Bluetooth, which is pretty awesome. As you can see, I have everything hooked up in a single loop. I kind of had to loop it this way because the Core P3 was not intended for an eATX motherboard. I mean, yes, it does have the spots to mount it, but it really is not size compatible with it. I mean, I made it work, but I would much rather have a P5 because it would leave me a lot more room to put radiators and other equipment. As you can see right now, I only have a total of 360 millimeters of radiator, and that's not enough. I need at least, according to Jay's 2 cents, 240 millimeters per component when overclocked, which means I really should have about 720 millimeters, which on a P3 is not possible. I could probably get away with putting a 240 where the 120 is, and then a 360 mounted vertically. If I do that, then I think it would be enough cooling to handle those, especially considering that i7's coming out and a Xeon 5675 processor is going in as soon as I'm getting around to ordering it. Now, this system does suck up a lot of power because don't forget, this is old tech. These 770s are still Kepler, and they do have dual 8-pin power connectors. And as you can see, I only had one set of extensions that weren't the factory ones. I have to order another set just to replace that and have a matching second 8-pin extension, but when I do that, it'll look good. But overclocked, and I've already done some numbers, overclocked, these two cards in SLI run faster than my EVGA 980 not TI, my 980 superclock did in superposition. So that's really nice, and it works fine in games. And these cards, even under load, I'm going to put this light away because it's very hot. Even under load, these cards are only in the mid to high 30s, which is really good considering how hot that CPU's been running. That north bridge is not making great contact, even though I've replaced the screws twice. In fact, I had to disassemble the entire system once just to repair it, because at first it was shutting down because it was getting too hot, but by putting a little fan blowing air on it when I'm testing, it brings the temperature down. Let me show you some numbers as soon as the screen pops up, and I will let you know what this processor is capable of in 2018. Here's Cinebench. I currently have it overclocked at 4.1 gigahertz, although it says 4.09, it's 4.1, because it takes a lot of voltage to overclock this processor, or at least get it stable, and I don't want to keep feeding it too much power. As you can see right now, the north bridge is sitting at 59 degrees. If I put the fan on it, it drops that down to about 45. The aux-tin temperature sensor, even though it's giving a reading right there, obviously that's not correct, and that's really not correct. And the CPU tin, or the temperature sensor for the socket, I believe, is what that one is. It spikes when the system starts, but then it drops right back down. So that little fan actually brings all these temps down except for the systin. Not sure which temperature sensor that is. But as you can see, under idle without enough radiators, I'm in the 40s, which is a little hot. I guess not too hot when you consider a 1.320 volts, and it will ramp up to 1.344 under load. But yeah, at 4.1, it returns a 645 CB score. But for $45, I can put in a processor that, as long as it can overclock, will break 1,000. So I'm not going to beat the snot out of this processor when I don't care. If I can get it to come up to like that 3930K, which is X79 platform, I believe, it would actually make me very happy, because as you can see, that's running 1,000 CB, and the Xeon should be capable of it, assuming it can overclock well. So I need a processor and at least one more radiator, and then I can call this system adequate. I was going to say done, but you guys have been following me for a while. You'll know that since October, I've changed this system like 19 times. In fact, I'll just link to a random one up in the information there. So go ahead and check that out. So yeah, that's PC of the month for June. I'm Joe. That was a one take. Don't forget to subscribe. Click over here by the EVGA logos. By the way, they liked my tweet because they understand awesomeness. Give a thumbs up for the awesomeness, and you can watch another video. And as always, I'll talk to you later.